Alright, guys, so I'm going to be talking about another comic review, and this one comes from my good friend Chris. And today we're going to be talking about uh, Wesley Dodds, the Sandman. This is the third of the Justice Society miniseries. I've reviewed the other two, Alan Scott Green Lantern and Jay Garrick the Flash, both of which were awesome. And I was really excited to this because even though I don't really have a lot of books about the Sandman, not Neil Gaiman, fuck you, by the way, Gaiman, um, uh, the the character of Wesley Dodds has always been interesting to me, just aesthetically, and I've really wanted to read the Sandman Mystery Theater comics. I know there's like a big omnibus out there, but I don't know. Like, I want to read it. Like, I want to. This is a character I've always wanted to read more of, like this kind of pulpy kind of character. So this was a. Would I say this is a good introduction for Wesley Dodds, the Sandman? I mean, yeah, that was kind of their whole initiative. Well, this and Alan Scott are really good initiative, are good in different ways. This is like a good introduction for that character, and Alan Scott Green Lantern is more of a comic about. That comic is much more about, who he is as a character, and actually doing some character rebuild on that one. Not to say Jay Garrick the Flash isn't good. It's actually really good. But Jeremy Adams wrote it. But the problem is, unlike this and Alan Scott Green Lantern, that book is more like continuity heavy. So there's certain books, if you didn't read them, you're gonna get lost. But yeah. So anyway, let's get into this. So this is set in 1940. Like, this is early Wesley, still being the Sandman before he joins the Justice Society. And basically what it is that Wesley is looking to sell his sleep chemicals to the U.S. military to humanely defeat soldiers. But they're like, yeah, put people to sleep. We need war. We need guns and blood and whatnot. So Wesley's like, oh, well, that sucks, but I'll keep going as the Sandman. However, that's when he discovers someone has burned down his home and stolen his secrets. So now Wesley has to put together this mystery in order to figure out who was behind this and who knows his identity. This comic was written by Robert Venditti with artwork by Riley Rossmo, who Rossmo's artwork is Rossmo's. Whenever I find out Riley Rossmo was behind an art, is going to do the art in a comic, I'm always excited because ever since I read the first Batman Shadow crossover, this artwork just sticks with me. It's very detailed. It's beautiful. It has these great shades. I'm trying to think of like what could really like showcase how much I love this art. Here we go. So you could have something like this, or something like, I don't know, this. So yeah, Riley Rossmo's artwork is really good, and Robert Venditti, I'm kind of half and half on him as a writer. I really liked the Superman 74 books he wrote, but his Green Lantern I'm not a fan of. Like, I really did, like, he was the wrong guy to follow up Jeff Johns' Green Lantern run. Though, to be in fairness, I don't know if there'd be anyone who could be worthy enough to follow up a Green Lantern run like that. But yeah, so this is more of a mystery story, but the problem is you kind of figure out the mystery in issue 1. Like, you already know who the bad guy is from the get-go. You already know how the story's gonna go. But sometimes the journey is just as important as the journey is better than the destination. And trust me, the journey's really good because Wesley is a pacifist. He doesn't like the idea of killing. That's the whole point of why he was trying to sell his sleep gas to the army, was so to fight humanely. And his father was a World War I veteran who didn't come back from the war all there. Like, he suffered PTSD and they had a major disconnect. So Wesley is trying to do his best to combat this situation. At the same time, though, like I said, once you see the characters involved, you kind of figure out what the big mystery is already. So it's just kind of like 6 issues of, let's just get there. That's kind of the detriment to it. But I will say, like, the character himself, it's really fun to see, like, this moral conflict. Because there's even a great moment where a character says, like, when Wesley's talking about, like, you basically were going to commit war crimes with my own gas. And the reason why they stole his gas formula was because he had made so many errors that unintentionally made chemicals that were more dangerous than mustard gas or sarin gas. And he's like, I can't have the world know this. So there's a moment where he's talking to someone and he's like, you're going to go to jail for war crimes. And he's like, dude, war crimes are only for the guys who lose. Haven't you ever heard of, history's only written by the victors? And to which that's sadly the case, is that in history, war crimes only go to the people who lose the war. There are plenty. Yeah, we do have perfect example. Do you know how many war crimes Canada committed? It was twice that of Germany during World War I. Yeah. So then you had a shit ton of stuff America did, war crimes America did, that it took decades to come to light because it gets buried under paperwork and whatnot, and you can't have, your fighting men and women, showcased that they murdered unarmed civilians because they thought they were, undercover soldiers. Hell, that's still a thing to this day. That was still a thing in the during, the war in Afghanistan and Iraq. There are shit ton of stuff we don't know about, but it's never going to come to light because, well, we can't have that be bad propaganda. I mean, there are some things there are some things that are brought to light, but it's never going to be all brought to light, is what I'm saying. So that line kind of really hit hard. But yeah, getting back on topic to this book, I would say it's a pretty solid one. Like I said, the mystery is just kind of meh, because you figure it out real fast. But Riley Rossmo's artwork is amazing, and this I think, would be a great introduction if you want to read more of the this particular Justice Society character. Because Wesley, from what I've seen, he never gets any love. Wesley Dodds never gets any love. The last time I saw him get anything was in Night Terrors, and he was a fucking zombie. So yeah, as someone who's always wanted to read more about this character, it was a pretty solid one. So I'd like to thank my good friend Chris. Thank you once again from the bottom of my heart, bro, for sending me this book. And yeah, you guys tell me in the comments below if you've read Wesley Dodds' The Sandman. Let me know in the comments below what you guys thought of it. Comment below, let me know. Other than that, hope you all enjoyed this. I'm Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time in the Multiverse.